Alright, this is the start of my demo for module 2. Now I'm gonna get started. First, here we have our website, Rocket Elevators. And as we all know, module 2 primarily we have worked with the get code page. So I'm gonna go here. So here is the code.html, and let's go to the code for a second. So yeah, here we can see that we have our three files: code.html, code.css and code.js. So I have divided the web page into three different separate pages, which are the HTML, CSS and JavaScript pages. And so the HTML page has the header and the footer, so which are from the original Rocket Elevators page. So they're both similar, and the main content of this page is this form, so to request a code. And here in the code we can see the section for it, and in the container I have written the code for the form. And initially, the building type was an option to be either a drop down or a radio button, so I have gone and chosen with the radio buttons. So let's just get started with this one here. And then, as we know, each of these building types has their own requirement, so I have specifically coded for such requirement. And as you can notice here, it doesn't exactly show those fields here because I used something called dynamic fields. And if we go here in a JavaScript file, so based on the selected type of the building, the dynamic fields are going to show the HTML code here. So as we all know, so industrial I mean, the industrial type is just gonna ask for only the number of elevators required, whereas the residential is gonna ask for the number of apartments and number of floors. So here, as you can see, it corresponds to this. And so yeah, and as required, we can enter numbers, only numbers here. If I try to enter any of the alphabets, I can't enter anything, and it doesn't exactly take the negative numbers, so you can see it in the video. So yeah, let's just get started with the demo here. Like in the industrial, if I want like 5 elevators, and then you can see here in the summary section, uh, so yeah, it says like for us to ask for select the product there, and once we select the product there, the summary would be visible. So let's go for standard, and now we can see the summary here. It says like, okay, the number of elevators required is the 5 elevators, and what's the cost for each elevator, and what's the installation fee, and the total cost. So if we compare with the examples we have here, okay, it's asked for 3, so let's put 3 and check it. So it updates dynamically, so you don't have to refresh the page. So once I entered 3, it automatically changed into the corresponding values. So yeah, let's check the if it's correct, the calculation is correct or not. So for 3 industrial in the standard, it's 24,000, and then 2,400 for the installation. So we see it's correct, and the final estimate matches with the example we have here. So that's the calculation is correct. Now let's just go into the code and see what's happening here. So here I have the HTML page, and here we can see, as I have told, the building selection and then the product selection, and here is the summary section. So this is where the display part happens, like the display of it. And here I have my classes and the styles for the all the HTML. So the whole core concept of this section would be the JavaScript page where the actual calculation goes. So yeah, I have declared my variable constants for the types. So here we can see my first constant for building types and product types. So I have my event listener set up. So yeah, and then for the building type, the inner HTML, and then the main calculation is here. We can see from here it's the main calculation. So it's the number of elevators, and then based on the installation rate, we can notice here is the percentage of the uh, product so that it would be calculated accordingly. And then we have our math here, so based on the number of floors, number how many elevators were required. So yeah, this is for the residential calculation. For the residential, here we have our calculation for commercial, and here it's for the industrial. So industrial is pretty straightforward, but residential and commercial there is some calculation involved. And finally the cost is done by the calculation. Here we see what's the final cost is the total cost plus the installation fee. Installation fee is the total cost into the installation rate, and we have those rates stored here, right here. So yeah, which is accessible. And finally this allows us to transfer all the values from the JavaScript to the HTML, so basically allows us to communicate with the document. So yeah, this finishes my demo.